Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to discuss about the criteria on basis of which your speaking examination is graded. So I would suggest you all to keep these four criteria in your mind while preparing for your speaking examination, because your speaking is graded on basis of these four criteria. Okay, there's nothing like this that if you speak politely with your examiner, he's gonna give you bands or something. There's nothing like this. So your speaking is only and only graded on the basis of these four criteria. So keep these four things in mind always while preparing for your speaking examination, and I bet you can score really good in your final exam. So there are basically four basic criteria. First is your fluency and coherence, then comes your lexical resource, then third we have your grammatical range and accuracy, and fourth and last is your pronunciation, is your fluency and coherence. So what do we mean by fluency? So fluency does not mean that you have to speak at a very fast pace in front of examiner, and that will make examiner feel like this person is fluent. It's completely wrong if you have this mentality. The thing is, fluency simply means that it's ability of a person to speak without taking any major pauses. So taking pauses is not at all wrong until and unless you are taking a major pause. So if I'm speaking with you guys right now, so I'm taking pauses, that's natural. If I keep on taking pauses for 5, 6 or more than 10 seconds, so that is wrong. So your fluency simply means that you should speak with, you can take pauses, but do not take pauses for longer than 3, 4 seconds or 5, 6 seconds maximum. And you should not make any sort of repetition while you are giving your speaking, and you should not get stuck somewhere, and you should not get bobbled up, which means you shouldn't get confused while you're speaking with your examiner. So this is what actually fluency means. Next is your coherence. Coherence, just keep one thing in your mind, like coherence means how well organized your speech is. So if your speech is completely organized and you are just speaking in very logical order, and there is a connection between the content whichever you're speaking. Suppose if I'm talking about my journey as a student, so when I'm talking about my student life, that doesn't mean that I am going to talk about something that I'm doing right now in my professional life. So you should stick to the content. Nothing should be irrelevant. But if I am able to connect my student life with my profession, then it's good. But until and unless I'm not able to draw any sort of relation between my student life and my professional life, there I go wrong. So you should make a proper connection between the sentences which you are speaking. So that is what coherence actually means. So now second one which we have is your lexical resource. So lexical resource in simple language simply means your vocabulary. So the vocabulary which you use. So vocabulary doesn't only mean that you will use the words, the fancy words. It also includes your phrases. So I would suggest you all to try to use less idioms, but try to use more phrases. So avoid idioms and try to use more phrases. So that makes your speech more impressive. So vocabulary simply means that how much vocabulary you're using. So vocabulary shouldn't be like you're using wrong. You should make correct usage of vocabulary. Okay. Suppose if I'm saying that my height has increased, so I cannot say that my height has inclined or something, although these mean same. So avoid using words in wrong manner. Use words, but use the words very correctly. Avoid using words if you don't know the meaning of the word which you are using. Simply avoid. Use simple words, but do not use wrong words. because using wrong words has negative impact, but using simple words still has some positive impact. Okay, so just use the words correctly. This is what your lexical resource means. Use words correctly and use some good words. The words shouldn't be like which are, it's not like your examiners each and every word should be like bit fancy, but it shouldn't be like out of the world. Okay, so use words correctly. The third criteria, which I say is the most important criteria, is your grammatical range and accuracy. So now, what's grammatical range actually? Suppose if my cue card has a topic which is asking me about any past event that has happened in my life, and while answering in front of examiner, I'm using any sentence which is like I'm speaking my whole cue card in present tense. So do you think that I'll be getting bans? Obviously it's a big no, right? So your grammar should be correct. If a cue card, or if any question, if cue card question or any question that is being asked to you talks about time, so you should be very much active at that point. Like, for what time is this cue card asking about? Is this question talking about any past event, present event, or it's talking about any future event? So you should use your sentences accordingly. Okay, and next, what I suggest you all is you should avoid fragmenting sentences. What I have seen is people fragmenting simply means you're using incomplete sentences. So avoid fragmenting sentences, try to complete them, because incomplete sentences are simply useless, because the person who is listening to you is not able to understand you. He's not getting the meaning of the sentence what you're trying to say. So do you think you will be getting bans? So it's again a big no. Avoid fragmenting sentences and try to use complex sentences. Avoid using simple sentence. But if you're not able to make a sentence complex, avoid using the complex sentence again, because you yourself know how much good speech you have. If you know that you are not having good speech, suppose if you are lying somewhere at range of 5 or 6 bands, or suppose 5 and 5.5, that simply means that you're not good at building up complex sentences. So in that case, simply avoid making complex sentences. And the best way to improve your scores in your GRA is to work on your tenses and your voice, because like if you use your tenses wisely and voice, you can even make a little bit of complex sentence too. Okay, so work on your GRA, because that is very much important. That is, I can say, backbone of your speech. So work on your GRA. The fourth and last criteria in your speaking is your pronunciation. So pronunciation means that you should be able to pronounce word clearly. There should be clarity in your speech, and you should give stress on some words. Suppose if I'm saying that, um, suppose I'm talking about any event and I'm describing my feelings. So if I say that I was very elated, so this is what I'm using a good vocab here. So what will happen if I'll focus on the word elated, if I'm putting some stress on it, so the examiner will actually notice this thing. Okay, so you should focus on word stress, clarity, and the main thing is like you should be easy to understand. Okay, you shouldn't pronounce the word in such manner that it is not even understandable to your examiner. So do not pronounce those words which are very tough and which are like out of the world again. So pronounce words very gently and clearly, and avoid using informal words. I have seen some people using words like mom, hey, hey, yeah, how are you? So avoid using these sort of words. If you want to talk about your mother, simply say my mother is a housewife. And suppose you want to say hello, avoid using hi. Instead you can use hello. Okay, so can you see the difference? Hi, hey, they are looking bit informal. Now they're sounding informal, but if you're using words like hello, how are you, so this is sounding more formal. Okay, so focus on your pronunciation. And with this, I end up the video for today, and I hope you keep all these 4 criteria in your mind. I thought of making this video on these 4 criteria because I've seen some students, they are not aware about these criteria, and when they give their practice speaking examination, they get very disappointed after seeing their list bands. But sometimes your teacher does not explain you where you went wrong. So why to rely on teacher now? Because you can watch videos, we have access to some resources. So you just have look on this. Just check, analyze yourself first. Okay. The best thing which I say is try to analyze yourself first, because no one knows you better than yourself. So when you know where you are wrong, you can improve. Your teacher cannot push you to work on yourself. You have to work on your own. So analyze your mistakes, focus on the areas in which you think you are weak. Suppose you are good in GRE. So now what's next, guys? Next is, if you're good in GRE, that means you're good in pronunciation, and you need to work on fluency and coherence and your lexical resources. So if you're good in your GRE and pronunciation, next step is to work on your fluency and coherence. Main thing is coherence. Try to organize your speech, and last comes your lexical resources. So if you are good in 3 of like fluency, coherence, pronunciation, so and GRE, the last thing comes your lexical resources. Okay, because if you're good in these 3, you will be automatically good in your lexical resources. At the last, you should work on your lexical resource. Okay, try to work on lexical resource to improve your bands. And again, if you have any questions or any other queries, you can simply pin down in the comment section here below. And again, I have one more option. You can simply email me at the email ID which is mentioned on my page. So with this, I end up my video for today. Thank you for watching the video. If you like it, just comment, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And if you have like many more friends who are just starting their IELTS practice, just refer them this page. Thank you all. Have a good day ahead.